Hello, everyone, and welcome to Prime Time. As you can see, we have beautiful guests today, Taylor. We are so excited to welcome. We're going to give everybody about 3 minutes to jump on, and then we're going to do some introductions. Tell us where you're from. I'm so excited about these guests. I didn't do that. So let's look in the chat and see where everyone is from. Dan Wilson is ever faithful. He's up in the Pacific Northwest. Arizona. Hey, ladies, look at how many people coast to coast. Maryland, Pennsylvania,
Nice.
Flagstaff, New Jersey.
Everywhere. North Carolina.
Tell us where you're from and tell us if you participate in luxury.
Yeah, let's see how many people here are.
How many people are members of OneLux or have had a luxury sale? Yay, Kingman. It's here. OneLux member. There we go. Savannah, Georgia. Jeff Hoover and proud. How scary was OneLux when you first got started?
That was Daniel.
Yep.
We introduce ourselves. We're the middle guy.
I just noticed the magazine on your table.
You see one on the table, Taylor?
Yeah, we got the magazines out.
Okay, welcome to Primetime, everybody. Colette, you are fancy. That's one of the things I love about you. If you're having a party, we would love to know about your watch party and how many people you have it in, or are you having champagne? Because I hear some people may be having champagne early this morning. And by the way, it's not morning. It is very appropriate to champagne at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the East Coast. So, hey, let's get started. Taylor, welcome today. We are super excited to have this group. This is our ONE LUXE Collective group. They are based out of Nashville, Tennessee, which, by the way, everybody's moving to, including In-N-Out Burger, right?
Yeah.
Just a movement going there. So we want to hear from them. And what we're excited about today is it's a very unique collection, if you will, of talent. And it's not your typical team. So first of all, Taylor, what do you think about, let's have them just do an introduction.
Yeah, I love that.
So if you will, each of you tell us your name, where you live in the city, and then a little bit about what is your expertise or what do you bring to the collection?
I'll start.
Yeah.
I'm Erin Johnston. I live in College Grove, just south of Nashville, and I specialize in the golf course kind of resort style communities.
I'm Sonia Scales. I live in Santa Fe. That is F-E-E, not Faye. Santa Fe, Tennessee, and I specialize in first-time home buyers and land properties.
And I'm the broker of the organization. Just here to, my name's Monty. I've been in the business for over 40 years. I live in Orlando, Florida, and in Franklin, Tennessee. And my expertise is being blessed by amazing people here. And I'm just here for a minute to give them a little more courage because since the liquid part wasn't working. I love these ladies and I'm so proud of each one of them. So proud.
Thank you.
My name is Jessie Pyle. I live in Franklin, a mile from this office, so I can walk if I'd like. I don't do that a lot in the Nashville humidity, but and I came from an interior design background, so I really love staging and showing people's own furniture in their own home in the best light. I do a lot of work before listing in that area, so that's something that I bring to the table.
Yep. I'm Amanda Ugla, and I live in Arrington, which is just about 10 miles east of here. I work a lot in the sporting community. I have a big sports background and a sports family, a lot of travel sports within my family. And outside of, or the only person in this group that is a part of a team. So I started my own team last year also. So that's what I bring to the table.
Great.
And I'm Olivia Schaefer. I live in the Spring Hill suburbs, which is south of Nashville. And I'm luxury certified. And so I bring kind of a luxury adding to the collective. And then I do a lot of social media stuff. So we do a lot on the social, which is really, really fun and a little bit of a creative outlet for me.
You know, one thing that really Taylor and I talked about after our first interview with you guys is that it is not a team. It is not your typical team. We're not even going to talk about compensation, shared compensation, that kind of thing. It really is a strategic marketing group that you each bring your strength to the table. There's wisdom. I mean, it's such a good blending of generational and behavioral and all of that. And it's designed for collaboration. I think the thing that I was most impressed about and continue to be impressed is there seems to be somewhat of an agreement that your ego's checked at the door.
That's right.
And you come in and you collaborate and communicate, and you're very consistent with sharing and not being territorial or turf grabbing or anything like that. Taylor, I mean, how unusual is that?
Yeah, we don't see that a lot, especially in the luxury space. But you ladies have chosen to come together as a collaboration and see advantages in that. Can you talk a little bit about how that brings advantages to your clients and how that helps you win listings or market yourselves differently to stand out?
Well, I mean, I love having the leverage. All of us have so much experience and in different areas. So it's awesome to have leverage if we have, a tough seller who doesn't want to listen to us on price, or we have a listing that isn't selling. And so it's so awesome to have this group of like-minded individuals to reach out to, and we all have each other's backs. And we always say like a win for one of us is a win for all of us.
Yeah, it fits right in with our company motto, you win with one. It's the freedom to run your business how you'd like to do it, right? But then the collaboration that helps you thrive and rise the bar for yourself and for your clients. Does anyone else have anything to add to that?
I think what's really, really awesome too about the collective is that we are all women in business, which is really exciting, and we get to further support each other. I think what's really great about the collective, for me personally with the group, is that we truly all love and support each other. And a win for one of us is a win for all of us, but we will come together with minds. We come together with marketing ideas and strategies that will help us as a collective, but also help us in our individual businesses, which is so strong to have that support without actually being a team. And that's what we love so much, is that we pull the collective in as a support system when we need it. And we're always there to help.
Yeah.
As a broker of the office, it's interesting when I walk in the room and these ladies have got their minds together and their energy together. It's just you can sense the collaboration. You can sense it taking it to a whole nother level than what we typically experience with a group of agents getting together. There is something, in all sincerity, this has come together kind of almost divinely, or so. I'm not sure how to describe it, except that it's come together organically and in a way from collective hearts that truly care about one another and truly care about representing the luxury industry at a higher level. It's so often when you get around some luxury agents, you just don't really want to be around them again, maybe, or something like that, possibly. But these people, you actually love them. I mean, they're just really all five of them are amazing, amazing human beings, first of all, and truly care about each other. You can just sense it when you walk in the room when they're working together.
Taylor, I think this is the essence of cooperation. And that's a word I like to use a lot, in that they are competing. The cooperation is bigger than the competition. And that's what this brings forward. And in our previous talk, we had 3 more C's in addition to our 6 C's. We had kind of the secret sauce of this group. And the first is communication. So let's talk a little bit about, you highlighted the contribution of each team member and the networking. And one thing that I think is really hard when you're each running independent businesses is to honor each other's calendar and to be consistent in that communication and making those meetings and being fully committed. So talk a little bit about that. And what is how are you keeping the bar held high on everyone? And who's always late? I want to know who's always late.
I think there's a lot of ways that we collaborate and communicate. We definitely, especially during our normal calendar year, summer gets a little tricky with all of our family lives, but we're definitely usually getting together twice a month to tour properties, to meet about how to grow our businesses. We just unveiled a website, so we would have meetings regarding our website and meeting with the website creator. So definitely in person twice a month. Above and beyond that, we have a group chat that is just the 5 of us. So we are communicating daily. There's always a question that comes up that we need advice for. There might be times that 2 of us are getting together to meet with a builder, or most of the time is all 5. But there is a daily communication on our group chat with any news that we have, any questions that we have, but definitely in person twice a month. We go to events together. We go meet builders together. We tour and film content together. And so there's a lot of different ways
Yeah.
that we are communicating month to month.
And I think having that marketing partnership, we're investing into this together and we make it is a priority and a commitment.
Looking from the outside in, when I looked at all of your Instagrams, you can tell that it's definitely a marketing partnership. They all align, they kind of speak the same language, but it's your individual business. But there's enough shared content mixed into your personal content, your individual business content, and then your collaborative content that if I was looking to interview with you guys to help me with buying a home or selling a home, I would feel really confident that I have the backing of the whole group. Like that comes across in your marketing, the collaboration.
Well, and for listings, that has to be extremely powerful.
Yeah.
It is. It is. There's power in numbers, just like any high level business model, right? That's what I think this group is trying to make a priority, is just to cast the widest net possible. And when I do feel we're all like-minded, and that helps just do it very naturally.
Well, and Nashville is one of those markets that when you say Nashville, you think one location, but Nashville encompasses a lot of communities that are probably very specific. Probably each community has its own luxury market, and you do need that expertise. Sonia, I got to tell you, I love the fact that you're the land expert, and that is so critical in a market like yours where land is being developed and developers need advice on price point and absorption rate and all those kind of things. So I love the diversity of this group. Have you always been luxury agents, or have some of you transitioned into luxury from more standard sales? Any of you?
Absolutely.
It's just authentically happened here in the Nashville market. Everything is so expensive, but when we roll out the same kind of red carpet service for first-time home buyers as we do the 5 million.
We like to say luxury for all. We never
Yes.
want to come across as only looking for luxury clients and only looking for luxury listings. We want to service everyone and give them the exact same service.
Luxury.
They all have the luxury certifications too, where we know our stuff, and we definitely specialize in that. And because it is the marketing and all of that, it's a different level. So we're very diverse.
Oh, I love this. Sarah says, I like that because I don't live in a very luxurious market, but I want to make sure everybody gets a VIP treatment.
Yes, that's exactly.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that we all agreed upon when we came together as a collective, is like we want to give that white glove level of service to that first time home buyer who's experienced it for the first time, or to that really experienced seller who sold maybe 20 properties before. And I think that that's something that we want to cover across the board, is giving that same level of luxury style service to everybody.
That's great. Let's talk about the cooperation, sharing the wisdom and experience. And let me just ask, some of the best partnerships I've had, and you're not a partnership, so I'm not saying that, but are the people that have confidence and respect enough that you bring different ideas to the table and sometimes you agree to disagree. How is that? I'm getting some head nods. Talk a little bit about that, because I think that's such a different level of respect. And that's when you really have growth. If you can say, you know what, I don't agree with that necessarily, but I'm going to agree to try it.
I'm going to knock on wood, and the girls can attest to this. Knocking on wood. We have not had one disagreement since we have came together as a collaboration. So when Monty says this is like a divine intervention kind of thing, it really is. We all truly think the same. We all want our businesses to be on the same path. And when we came together as a collective, we laid out what we wanted each of our businesses to look like and the level of services that we offer to our clients. And they all align so perfectly that we all have the same goal and the same mindset. So I'm knocking on major wood, but we truly have some incredible communication between all 5 of us, of just like, we respect each other like no other. We truly love and care about each other, and we all have the same mindset of where we want our businesses to go. So girls, y'all can attest to that, but for me, it's like,
and we all kind of have that same love and care for our clients too. And just for each other, and then also our clients.
And that's how it came together. It was planned pretty strategically, just again, for like-minded people and agents. And we all share a lot of similarities, yet we're all very different. Not to say that we won't ever hit a bump in the road, because that's unrealistic to think that we won't. But I feel like we're all equipped to be able to handle it and move on.
And that's where The foundation, we talk about that in coaching a lot. The foundation of that has to be trust
That's
and
right.
respect. So that's incredible. Melissa, one of my favorite people up in Chattanooga, how important to you is the luxury designation when you're looking for partners? Or she's got refresh partners. Melissa, tell me a little bit about more what that means.
Referral partners.
But I guess how referral, thank you, referral partners.
I think it just is situational, right? I think it always comes down to the client and what they're looking for, right, girls? I think it just depends on that kind of situation.
This is the quietest I've ever seen these 5 minutes.
Are we loosened up yet?
It sounded like you were asking somebody from outside the group a question, so I apologize for the.
I was talking in the chat line. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
It was how important if you're going to
waiting
play.
for a response.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you this. If you're looking to place a referral outside of your group into another city, which by the way, these people are Nashville and surrounding communities. So just refer anybody going there to this
Right.
team. How important is it that the referral partner that you're sending it to have a luxury designation?
I think it's very important. Yes, I mean, you would want that person to have the same way of doing business as we do. We don't want to refer to somebody that doesn't know what a luxury property even is. So we want to have the same qualifications and give them the same white glove treatment that we provide.
It's a credibility thing, obviously. You know, you're on the same path. You can trust one another.
I think that would definitely be one of the questions, along with just their experience and but that would be one of the questions I would ask.
Dan's got a great question. Are you leaning on a specific set of tools to help you win listings?
Well,
I mean, this is a great, we have, I think this was our listing guide. So this is an amazing book to show luxury clients and kind of walk some are very experienced in real estate, maybe some aren't. And so I think that's a beautiful thing to take to a listing appointment.
It's
And if we
always-
need to take one of each
Right.
other, we can do that as well.
we did recently just do a listing and they wanted us as a group. And so it's always better with numbers.
Yeah.
So that's how we received this last listing.
So really the power of your collective is the power. How are you leveraging the OneLux brand?
It's all in our marketing.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
use a lot of like the marketing too that's in like the creative studio. There's a lot of, if you're luxury, obviously certified through RG, the OneLux side, there's some great tools in the creative studio that kind of creates that cohesive marketing. Obviously, we kind of throw in our own little fun stuff and our kind of coloration and our style that we like to throw in, but it does create a cohesive kind of look for us. And we use that as a base template. We use that when we do our client testimonials. We'll do it when we have like top producing agent designations and awards and all that kind of stuff. So I think we really do use that as a marketing kind of side of things, is we really do tap into that. It's a really, really great platform. And we use some of it too in our marketing when we do our listings. There's some great like pamphlets and stuff that you can use as templates in there and get those created. So it just creates a cohesive marketing style.
I love the creative studio because I feel like I'm not very techie, but I can do it. And I have created some great property flyers and books, that I leave at listings or I'm, giving out to whoever, but I like it because it's pretty easy to use and you create some beautiful marketing pieces.
Okay, Lauren has been in the business. It's her second month. And she's asking a very important question. Lauren, thank you for asking it. She said, especially as she wants to break into the luxury market, if you were starting over, what would be the top 3 to 5 things that you would absolutely do to get you into luxury sooner than later?
I think be intentional about the situations you're putting yourself in, because you are going to naturally sell or bring in buyers in the environments that you are in. Being around people that are going to be buying and selling in luxury is a really important step, and naturally letting them know that you're an agent and what you really care about and what you will do. And so it's hard to get into that market if you're never around folks in that market. So being thoughtful about going to events where those buyers and sellers are going to be, introducing yourself, getting out there and letting them know that this is what you do.
And also like throwing out there too of like familiarize yourself with those type of properties, right? Because that's a
Yeah.
completely different clientele and the expectations in those luxury things. There's different verbiage that you need to be using and information you need to know. So get out there and tour properties and communities that are luxury, right? So like for our instance, our areas, we have really big gated golf communities in the Nashville area. We have Troubadour and the Grove and all of these communities that these luxury clientele are looking for. And if you specialize and you know about these things, it just makes you look like you're even more of an expert, right? So familiar with those types of communities and properties will even help you when you do get in those situations when you're around those buyers and those sellers. You know what you're talking about.
Olivia, I think you can especially answer this question from a standpoint of, because you came new to this state and you decided you wanted to do luxury. It started with a decision. It started with an intentionality, I think, and then you associate yourself accordingly, and you connected with Aaron to start with, and then this whole thing started blossoming to what this beautiful experience is now. I think it started with, this is what I want to do. This is who I want to become. I mean, you speak to that.
Yeah, it's definitely a mindset. It was a decision when I was not a Tennessee native. So I moved out there and did not know a soul. And I knew where I wanted my business to go. And I knew that the kind of level that I wanted to be at. And that's exactly what I did. I started investing and going into events, like Jesse said, of where can I find these buyers and these sellers? Where are they at? And obviously golf is huge in the luxury community. And I started going into every open house that I could into the Grove or in Troubadour, any events that they had, any luxury broker opens that there were. I was constantly putting myself in those situations of how can I grow? How can I just absorb as much of this information as I could? And by doing that, I started posting more on my socials of like, these are the properties that I'm touring. And automatically you will just attract about what you're surrounding yourself with and what you're putting out there. You will automatically attract that kind of clientele. So that's exactly what I did.
You have to stay current. That's the one thing. It's tough. You know, we all have busy schedules, but you have to make sure you're keeping up with what's going on, because social media is a huge part of our business, even if it's outside of our comfort zone at times. And that's why if you do collaborate with other people, get somebody young, they know their stuff, and just you have to stretch a little bit and be uncomfortable sometimes, but it's so worth it in the end, because it just takes that one deal where they see you and you work with them and it's a good experience, and then it just blossoms from there.
Yeah, and you could partner with a luxury agent in your office and ask if you can shadow them.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the things I would do.
I love that. And I've got some great comments, but I want to go back to Lauren for just a minute. And she is networking with high net worth in communities and in groups. I think that's the key. I love the word intention and making sure that you're surrounding yourself, but I don't want to skip over something that Olivia said. And Taylor, you can support me in this. What the certification does is going to give you the words. It's going to give you the scripts. Because personally, and I want to debate this, I don't think luxury is something that you fake it till you make it. I think you need to go in knowledgeable and know how to, I don't want to say speak the language because it's not a different language, but I believe you need to know how to have the confidence and to carry this out before you get in trouble, because I think the high net worth person will see through that if you don't.
Yeah, it's strategy.
So,
for sure.
Yep.
I want to go back to something Melissa said and something Lauren said, that designation is going to give you that confidence and that reassurance.
Absolutely.
For the language that you need. Melissa's a big proponent of the networking and how incredible it was. She said Taylor introduced her to this group at Summit. That's going to be a great time. Taylor, if you want to speak a little bit about that, we're going to have a featured time at Summit for one of the educators to speak. Great networking time there.
Well, a few opportunities for luxury at Summit. So August 19th, right above me, you can, if you're looking to break into luxury and you haven't taken your designation, you can sign up for the Luxury Live coming up in 2 weeks. But if that one doesn't work for you, if you want to come and join live at Summit on Sunday, November 2nd, you can also go through this course. So that's a paid certification. If you're unsure and still want to maybe just hear it out, there's also a breakout session on breaking into luxury done by the same trainer of our Luxury Live designation. So that's your second opportunity. And then as luxury certified professionals, we will have a gathering bringing you together to create that opportunity to collaborate and network, referral, marketing, have these types of conversations as a group.
So there you go. You got to be in it to win it, right?
Yes. And
So-
everything that everyone said, it's like, I was like, they're just repeating the training. Like, Olivia, this is what we go through in the training. We talk about your network is your net worth, intention. The whole idea of the training is to walk away with a marketing business plan, to decide to know your numbers, know your market. As someone in the, I think it was Lauren in the chat said, or somebody else, I don't have high luxury in my area, but there's still luxury in every market. So it's your responsibility to know what is that luxury in your market, and then to know who is the network for that luxury, and then go tour properties as you all suggested, get familiar with it. It's all about having the intention, setting the time. You'll come out with a business plan, and naturally you'll just be more confident in what you're doing, and the numbers will just work out.
Agreed. I also think as you tour properties, as you look at listings, as you hone your eye in on what looks luxurious, you learn how to feature properties that might not technically be luxury as far as a price point in a better luxe way. You learn what rooms you're really going to feature. You learn that backyard's not great, but if I pan out to this corner of the home on the exterior, this is the best moment for this home. So you take a property that might not be quote luxury by the listing amount, and you learn how to brand it in a way more luxurious way, which just continues to feed your own brand of this is how I market any property.
Because I know for us too, we market all of our homes. Like, you know, if it's 500,000 or 3 million, I mean, we're going all out for pictures and video, you know, showing luxury at even the lower price points around here. We make sure that comes through in our marketing.
Luxury, it's a price point, but it's also inspirational, it's aspirational. Everyone and people in every price threshold want that luxury feeling.
We can see properties here that are $4 million that aren't marketed well, and it's not coming across as a luxury marketing plan. Vice versa, you could be at that 500,000 mark and it be marketed really well, and it has a luxury feel, even though it's not hitting that price point.
And then for our marketing program, there is rules, and it's set by your local broker owner on when you can use the OneLux branding. That does have a price threshold. Providing a luxury experience, marketing in a luxury way, writing really good copy, and doing all that for your properties, that's not exclusive to this brand. That can happen with the Realty One Group brand in general. It should be a part of everyone's business plan and the experience that they're providing.
I love a couple of things. You know, the fact that you're elevating every listing, even if it's not qualified as luxury, you're elevating it through service, through photographs, through the listing presentation, through everything, which that just builds your reputation so steadily. You know, Sonia, for you to say you love first time buyers, I didn't expect to hear that from the luxury, from ONE LUXE Collective, but I love that. And what you know and I know is that a home is just as important to them as this $1 million home. And I just admire you guys so much with your attention to that. And we all know the key to this business is repeat and referral business, and your first time buyer will repeat and refer over and over and over. There is I'm getting such a sense, Taylor, from the chat line of this level of intimidation that a lot of our participants are sensing, or they're manifesting a feeling of intimidation with Lux. And can anybody speak to that? What was the day, or when did you cross that threshold that you went, they're just like me, they want the same things? What if you give any aha moments around that?
I think it really comes with confidence. I think you just have to be your true authentic self and just realize that you are offering a service to no matter what the clientele is. And as long as you can go into that and feel that, I think that they will feel your authenticity through that, and the confidence will come with that. Obviously, you know, you're not going to wake up tomorrow and be like, I know everything about luxury and go in. You have got to prep for this stuff, right? You have got to know your market. You've got to put the work in. It's not like it just happens overnight and it's just like, oh, I'm just this luxury expert. It truly is. You have got to put the work in. But when you do, you really reap the rewards of it, because then you're able to offer that to any client, like the first time home buyer or that VA buyer or whatever the case is. And it will reap its benefits, I promise. But go in with a strong confidence of knowing who you are and knowing what you know that you can offer.
I want to go back to something that I think was incredibly important and ask this question. When you talk about staying current and talk about, I think, Jesse, that was you, staying current in what's going on in the market, what are the ways that you do that? I mean, as far as, is it through developers? Is it through land acquisition? What is that? Because I know that there are a lot of like, Olivia's in California this morning in Walnut Creek, so she doesn't have the kind of build out and new build that she probably does back in Nashville. But what, subject to your market, what do you need to keep your finger on the pulse of?
I think one of the ways we keep our finger on the pulse is constantly being out in all the communities and knowing what is happening, how much new construction inventory is going on versus how many existing home sales are happening, what finishes you're getting at what price points, like being current with that. Good example is next week we will all be touring a brand new
Golf community. Yep.
and so having the pulse of this up and coming community that's coming, what those homes will look like, what those price points will be, what they will be offering. It's not something you could sit at home and
You
you
got
gotta
to be out.
get out
to
in
be in
the
Yep.
community in all the areas. And we try to be mindful about that, not only staying in Brentwood, for example, which is one of our most expensive cities, going and seeing what's happening in Arrington versus Fairview and having a good knowledge base of all the communities in your area. And you've got to get out there and see it in person, I think, to really
For
be
sure.
current.
Yeah.
And I think something else too that's so great about the collective is that it is hard when we are working our businesses every day to be in every community. I know that's probably what some people are thinking. I'm like, well, how am I supposed to work my business and go out to all these communities and do all this stuff? We are able as a collective to be like, hey, I just went into this new community. Let me give you some updates. Like if you've not been there yet, let me give you some great updates. We do try to go together as groups, which I think with our scheduling, it's worked out really, really well. But we all rely on each other because we are all in different communities and areas. And so we're able to give each other insights of, hey, did you know about this thing that just came up here, this new builder that just came up? And I think that's really helpful to have that support system because we're able to be in multiple areas at once.
That's a really good point. Now, yeah, you're able to be in 5 different areas at once, but you're also able to be in 5 different networks because you had from farm to sports to interior design and staging network. Like you all came from different backgrounds and have different specialties in the real estate market in general.
That's the lesson. I think that's one of the biggest lessons here when we talk about that last C, the third C of collaboration, is being out, being visible. And I love that you said that, and I appreciate it so much because you can't get that. You've got to scratch and sniff, right? You can't sit online and think that's the new upgrade or that's the new whatever community, because they may be doing trick shots that you can't see, right? So you need to be out there, and that's then to bring that back. Even if, I would have to say, even if you're not doing it as an organized collective group like you guys are, for everybody on the call to be able to do that in your office meetings, to be back and contribute that, because I love the mindset of everybody wins here and everybody is contributing for everyone else to be better and to really start to sell yourself apart. I want to ask this because the market's been hard. I mean, you guys have done this in the last 18 months when, quite frankly, it's been kind of a shitty market everywhere. I mean, I don't know. I mean, can I say that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not been great. So tell us, how do you, each person contributes. If each of you would say, how do you keep that positive mindset? You've got families. Everybody on this call is doing a lot of stuff, including our participants. So how do you keep that positive mindset? How do you keep that focus? How do you show up not only for each person that's in the collective, but how do you show up for success?
I think you just have to continue to stay educated. I mean, I've been in the business for 22 years, so I went through the 07, 08 downfall, and I think you just have to continue. During those downtimes, that's when you sit and you educate yourself and be ready for the market when it does do the rebound.
Yeah, and just know it's going to ebb and flow. It's going to get better. That's kind of how real estate is. And maybe, like Sonia said, during those downtimes, go out and see new builds. Like keep doing real estate. keep educating yourself.
I think having a super positive mindset is really important, but I think it's really obvious for us that we all truly love what we do. We love real estate, we love people, and I think also nurturing in your past clients, nurturing the people that you have now, because those referrals come back. And in this business, that is key. And so nurturing the people that you have and focusing on that, but just being like super positive. I mean, real estate is going to ebb and flow all the time. And if you put your joy into that, it's going to let you down. So put your joy into the people that you surround yourself with your past clients, and then look forward and love what you do.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Kathy, let me throw in something from the old guy. One of the things we do here regularly is on our huddle call is talk about don't be that agent. And I'm gonna fall on the sword here and say don't be the agent that I was. The first time I showed a high-end property, I tried to tell all newer agents, and if you're on here being newer and thinking about this, take a friend, take a relative, whatever, and go out and preview some multi-million-dollar homes. Because the first time I ever showed a multi-million-dollar home was the first time I'd ever been in a multi-million-dollar home. And I was so amazed that, holy cow, I couldn't hear my clients, what they were saying, because I was like, holy cow, you see that? They've got a gym and they've got a... And I was enthralled about the house, and I disconnected from the clients, and they didn't feel like they were being served at the level they should have been served. So I always say, look, you're going to find out that they're still people. The walls are a little further apart, a little nicer amenities and so forth, but don't practice on your clients. Know ahead of time what this value is. Like Jesse said, the different finishes and the different builders and all this kind of stuff. And yes, it takes time, but fortunately or unfortunately, we have a market right now that allows that time. And that's again what coming from the old guy who's been doing this for 4 decades. Do the things now that you're not going to have time to do when the market does adjust again, because you're going to be too busy. But you're going to be busy in a really productive way, because you've been building your foundation, starting with confidence. And part of that confidence, of course, in yourself, that you know what the hell you're doing because you paid the price to be that professional that you're going to represent. People have to believe the messenger before the message ever matters. They've got to believe, and that starts with you. Do you believe in you enough to represent somebody buying a $5 million home? That takes that work that these ladies are talking about. Believe the messenger. You can't believe the messenger unless the messenger believes themselves. Okay.
I love that. And that goes back to don't fake it till you make it. Invest today in the agent that you want to be tomorrow. Because I will tell you this, and Melissa put this in the chat line. I've been in real estate over 20 years too. And the price points now, even in Raleigh, are extraordinary. I mean, I go back to what the first time buyer bought when I got in real estate is what a car, a really nice car is now. And it's a constant evolution. I mean, it's not doomsday. People are gonna continuously have the need to buy a home, and it's all about preparing. I think the thing I'm most delighted about, Taylor, from this is I love the feedback in the chat line, by the way, but I absolutely love the thirst for knowledge from this group, and that you're constantly learning. And the second thing is that passion to deliver VIP in every transaction.
Absolutely, yes. Part of what we have focused on, not only the listing guide that Erin had showed, but we have a OneLux vendor list that we create and we update all the time. And it's very, very important because we do a lot of advice before you're ever going to list on how to prepare your home. And then we are still constantly helping after we've sold that home with, I want to add screens on my back porch. I want to add a pool. And so our vendor list is super important because whoever we're recommending needs to follow right along with all of our values and all of our service. And that is ever changing. That painter was great, but Erin may have referred that painter and had an awful experience. We need to reevaluate who we're recommending. So all 5 of us having an appraiser that we love, a painter that we love, a plumber that will always show up and has great prices. We're constantly
We're vetting
and yes, and changing that vendor list because whoever we're referring, whatever professionals we're referring is reflecting on us.
Right. Yep. They've got to align with us.
Taylor, how do you feel about that?
Love that. The experience goes past just the transaction of the home, and it allows you to have more touch points with your clients.
Yeah.
And because you're doing this as a collective, for the painter example, you have more experience with that painter to then no, okay, we need to switch painters. But if it was just one person, right? They painted for us 5 months ago. I think they're still good. I can actually like say we prefer, and we vetted this painter.
Tell us a little bit about what kind of people are on there.
Wow.
We
On the vendors.
Yeah, we have a radon guy. We have, of course, interior decorators. We have stage, I mean, electrician, roofers.
attorneys.
Yeah, we are always looking for a good handyman. Hard to come by. That is
That's not
constantly a
hard to
need, is a handyman that will take a small project on. That is.
Yeah.
I went to a listing appointment recently and my clients, they love the fact I said, well, we have a VIP vendor list that we will only share with our clients, you know, and made it super special. And I mean, they love that and they've been using it like crazy.
And then they will come to us and say, my experience was fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for referring this person to me because I had nobody, because they maybe were coming from Nashville, moved to a suburb, and they're like, we have no idea where to start. And we had an instance where we had a client move from a condo style in Nashville to a suburb. And they're like, we've never had to mow grass. We need lawn people. And so we were able to offer them a landscaper, and then also not just a landscaper, but hey, here's just a lawn mowing company. Like, we have different tiers. And because we've all had experiences, we're able to offer that. And because they went in completely blind and were like, where do we start? You know?
And you're showing how that value stacks up. A lot of people won't touch this area because they're worried about that one-off time that they have a negative experience. So they'll just stay away from it, but they're losing the opportunity to have all these touch points and added value.
I usually lead the conversation before I give them the vendor list. I'm like, now listen, they do have to hire manpower and subs at times, depending on the size of the job. So I'm like, keep an open mind. We do not control who they hire. I mean, we've had really good experiences with them, but if they hire somebody that doesn't, so I tell them to try to double back their work if they are getting the jobs, but I'm also like, I have no idea. I cannot control the outcome of this.
How much of your business is repeat and referral business?
Mine's like 99%.
Same.
I still feel like I'm 50-50. I still get a lot of referrals, but still just trying to meet new, again, in the sporting community, we meet a lot of people. So yeah.
Mine would probably be like 60-40. I would say 60% of it is referral based, and whether it's a buyer or a seller, or okay, this person referred me from this situation. And then 40% is new prospects. It's from social media, it's from open houses, it's from I found you online, or whatever the case may be. So I think it's a little bit, yeah, I would say at least.
And my point of that is for everybody on the call and everybody they'll listen to this when it's on YouTube and in One University, is the magic is and the secrets are in the details. It's delivering that service, as Taylor said, and then going back and having those many different touch points to find out who you need to be talking to next. That's the key to success. And you guys are doing it in an extraordinary way.
Well, I like to think that our customers are customers for life. And so we take care of them from the beginning of our meetings to the closing table to beyond. So we don't forget about them when they sign on the dotted line. They're customers for life. They're family at this point.
One more question, looking at the time. We talked a lot about what makes the collaborative successful and the intention and the communication, the mindset. I think this one's for Erin. For everyone in the chat thinking, wow, I wish I had this in my brokerage. I wish I had this opportunity in my market. How did you get this group started? Do you have any tips?
Well, you can create this. Just wanted to have more of a presence here, a luxury presence here in our office. And I knew the way we all work together and we're like-minded, it came together. And so I would encourage everybody, collaborate with those that you know you're going to work well with. You can do this also.
It's funny how we started this like with Summit. But then we came back to the office and thought, who is going to be good for our group? And it's not like that we were buddies before this group happened. It's just that, I don't know, it's a God thing. We just all kind of, it's actually a miracle, to be honest with you.
And I think if someone doesn't want to do it quite to the level we're doing it, as far as marketing
Expenses,
and expenses and et cetera, at a minimum, if you could find, 4 or 5 people in your office that have similar experiences as you, and you feel like you're on the same page with, start a group chat to where you've got 5 people to talk with, ask questions, bounce ideas off of, get opinions with. We have 202 agents in the Music City office, and we have a group chat which I definitely encourage everyone to stay on because there's a lot of good information and nuggets. But if you can shrink that down to a much smaller group for a day in, day out, I think it's extremely beneficial to your business.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that would be an easy takeaway, even if you didn't want to do a collaborative or a collective at this level.
It sounds like to me it starts with showing up. So maybe showing up to the office meetings, to the office events, so you can meet the other agents in your office, kind of see who you organically vibe with. And then if you have shared business goals, if they align, maybe there's opportunity to talk about a more structured collaboration, or just like you said, start with sharing messages and being like, hey, we both work in luxury. Do you want to share market updates and insights with each other and see where it takes it?
Absolutely.
I love that. I hope that helps everyone listening. Do something similar if you think it would fit for your business. Kathy, can I share some updates on OneLux?
Absolutely.
My screen. Okay, so I already mentioned the training. If anyone's looking to get into OneLux, the training is in 2 weeks, August 19th. You can sign up, scan the QR code. But for everyone who is part of luxury or soon to become part of luxury, we are going through I'm not going to call it a rebrand. It's more of a refresh. I'm highlighting some of the pieces right here. And what you'll start to see in Creative Studio is defined themes to help you be intentional about your style for your marketing and fit a range of luxury. Share this screen. So I'm going to go through and show you some of the styles and what we call them. We call this the signature style. It's for agents who want to make a statement. This one's bold, confident, high contrast, luxury. Signatures for moments where less is more, but impact is everything. We call this one the minimalist, soft, serene, elegantly polished. They all look very similar. They bring in what the OneLux branding is, right? But we play with the typography, the way that the photos are laid out, the accents of the gold touches and strokes a little bit differently, as we've seen how people have been using the luxury branding inside of Creative Studio. Here's our timeless look. This is kind of the iconic look of OneLux when we launched it in 2020. There's sharper edges, this square that kind of follows along through the different marketing pieces. Hold up. Eclectic, reimagined with an artistic eye. There's geometric, layered, architectural, creative, and playful kind of a feel to this. And the last one is radiant. You can mix and match, use them all. One of them might really speak to you. So radiant is warm, uplifting, aspirational energy. It brings in rich gold tones and a sense of emotional luxury. And this is everyone on this call, first time seeing these designs. What do you ladies think? Are you excited to use it in your business?
Love.
Beautiful. Very excited.
So some of these designs are already inside of Creative Studio. They're continually being added. When you become a OneLux member, which is completing the training, we unlock these 3 categories for you. So you have OneLux marketing. This means you're marketing your business, your team, your group. If you're marketing a property, you'll click on OneLux property. So if you have a property to market, then you can go into something like social media. That's the category I'm in. You guys know how Creative Studio works. I don't need to train anyone here. We also have a new luxury presentation, and there's a slide in here I was thinking about when you're talking about your vendor list called My Team, and you can add like 12 different partners. You could just, so you can incorporate it into your presentations with the luxury design. So yeah, I just want to give a quick tour of what you get, a piece of what you get when you join OneLux and the new refreshed brand.
Thank you. That was a
Love
surprise.
it. Thank you.
Guys, we appreciate your time and energy and expertise so much. You truly define cooperation. It's just so refreshing to me in an environment sometimes that cannot be this way and cannot be this friendly and have this much collaboration. And Taylor and I are just honored. And thank you all who have been on the call today.
Thank you guys so
Thank you so much.
Okay. And that question was answered about the OneLux community. It is. Log into one.u and head to collaboration. Guys, thank you so much. Good luck, and we look forward to
you,
seeing
Donna.
them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thanks.
I know.